Welcome to Dishin with Dana. This podcast is all about people who chase what they love and somehow turn it into a reality. From bold ideas to unexpected paths, every guest brings stories, risks, and moments worth sharing. You never know where the story will lead. Pull up a seat, let's dig in. Welcome back to another episode of Dishin with Dana, and today we have an old friend of mine here. Well, actually, I shouldn't say old because that's not.
You've already insulted
a good
me
old friend of mine.
You've already insulted me and said 50 was really old once today. So yeah.
No, well, I'm saying for a gingerbread house, that is old, not for a human. Okay.
Okay. Good job,
Jon
Dana.
Lovitch,
Way to backtrack.
creator of the Gingerbread Lane. Right? What would you say your title would be?
The owner, artist, and creator of Gingerbread Lane, the world's largest gingerbread village with 5 locations.
Guinness World Record breaker,
Guinness
right?
World Record, 5 times.
5 times. When was the last time? When was the 5th time?
2017 is when I kind of stopped and stepped away from the world record business.
Okay, the world record.
It became too cumbersome. The
You're
amount of record keeping to deal with an organization that's based in England, and they're very British with their record keeping skills. It was just too much. So I was like, I have high respect for it because that means it's not easy to get a world record.
Yeah.
But it was just too much. It was taking hundreds of hours a year just for the record keeping. So.
Okay, that's what I was going to actually get into, but since we're talking about it right now, let's just dive right in.
Let's dish on it.
Yeah, let's dish.
I won't do that over and over, I promise.
You know, I never actually really say that in my podcast, even though it's Dishin with Dana. But so obviously you're a world record holder for Guinness World Record with the Gingerbread Lane. You know, you make everything from scratch, the gingerbread, cookies to everything, and then obviously we have this ginormous house that you brought in. It's a pizzeria, actually.
It's a pizzeria from my neighbor. It was a pizzeria.
There you go. It's awesome. So how does it work with the judging or like the Guinness World Record? Like, how do they do it? Because I know usually, you know, they're sitting there watching you do everything. If it's like some guy that's doing like 5,000 jumping jacks in 2 minutes or something. So like, how do they judge yours or
with
world record?
With food records in general, but mine in particular, where it's a food record and a quantity, they have specific guidelines. It has to all be edible, and it can only be 3 things: gingerbread icing and candy. That's all it can be. So you can't use any fake anything. You can't use any wood, cardboard, plastic, glue, nails, styrofoam. It has to be those 3 items, and it has to be a certain size. Everything has to be at least 5.9 inches in any given direction, and then after that it can get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it has to be 5.9 minimum to be counted, and it has to be 10% commercial. So there has to be like hotels, restaurants, pharmacies, bakeries, whatever you want it to be. And I'm very whimsical, you know, on that end of things with working in all the fun, you know, storefronts and whatnot. And then from there, you just make videos of your progress as you're working out throughout the year. You take pictures on it. You have to submit a roster of how many different varieties of houses, which with me it's usually 10 to 12 different varieties in terms of the shapes and sizes. And then you have to submit a roster of the storefronts. And then you have to submit ingredients that were used in the exhibit. Every ingredient you used for the entire exhibit has to be cataloged, and they have to get a list of that.
So if you use like gumdrops or M&Ms.
Gumdrops, M&Ms, flour, sugar, cinnamon, eggs.
Wow,
they need a roster of everything you used for the entire exhibit.
Wow.
And then from there, they want videotaped footage of it being counted. And you have to have an expert count it, which they were always happy to accept principals from local schools as the experts, because you're just counting, you know, for crying out loud. And then as you're counting, you have to hold tape measures next to each individual house, which for me seemed redundant because I'm like, you can see that any of them are 10, 12 inches. Why are we doing this
bigger or smaller?
1,251 houses.
Shoot.
And then you have to have all these different camera angles of it. You have to submit all this proof at the very end. And sometimes they accept it and give you your record. Sometimes they don't. And they have an expedited process where you can pay, like, I think it's $400 extra, where they answer all your questions rapidly. If you don't pay that, you can wait 10 to 12 weeks for each individual question to be answered. So it's always worth that $400. And then you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the last record I attempted to set, we got kind of hung up on some stuff because they were refusing to accept what I wanted to do with the village at the end, because it's a food record. They want people to eat it. Like, who's going to eat these?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. What do you do with after?
Yeah, so I actually had a very lovely way to work around that. I gave them 2 options. I'm like, we do giveaways at the end of the season where we let people take the village home with them. So we can do that. Or the other way we can do it is we can get pig farmers come take it, because pigs, horses, and cows love eating these things.
Oh, yeah.
The one pig farmer in Texas said, and I quote, "The pigs think it's crack." So I'm like,
don't do drugs.
Right. If we just stay off drugs, kids. You might end up doing this for a living. But like, I'm like, if the whole purpose of it is to not waste it, I was like, what does it matter who's eating it? You know, there are many cows I have met and known over the years. A friend of mine's a dairy farmer that I'd much rather hang out with than a lot of people I've known. So I'm like, what difference does it make if it's a cow or a pig eating it or a person eating it? Because people aren't eating these things. I don't know anybody I've ever seen eat a gingerbread house. Although at a club in Manhattan I made one for last week. Apparently they got drunk and started eating it.
Oh, wow.
Whatever, I got paid. What do I care?
Do you think people like save them?
Some do.
Like when the giveaways and stuff?
Some
Because I mean,
people.
they'll last forever, right? Because it's just like sugar.
Yeah, I've had people send me pictures of the gingerbread houses they've taken from my exhibits under the tree the next year. They took the time to preserve it and make sure it stayed nice and that sort of thing. And they do keep them, you know. It depends on the location. Like at my southern locations, they have a propensity to send me videos of them shooting the houses out in the fields. I'm like, well, as long as you're doing it in a safe,
aim.
as long as you're doing it in a safe manner, I'm in.
They were good. They
Yeah.
were good. Oh, wow. So, I mean, like when so going back to the oldest house that you have, let's talk about that.
The really old one.
The really old one. The really, really old one. Okay, I'm
For
never
all of
gonna
you
live it
listening,
down.
by the way, I'm 49. So when she said this house I have at home that was made in 1976, which I was made in 1976, was really old.
For a gingerbread house.
Right.
That's why. So wait, how did that house? Where did you get that house? If you were younger than the house.
Yeah. I'm September
young spring
76.
chick.
The house is December of 76. Actually, I'm older by 3 whole months.
Oh, okay.
In 2014, I had a gentleman contact me. He saw Gingerbread Lane in the New York Times and contacted me when I was in the middle of my setups and left me this rambling message on my voicemail. And I remember when I was listening to it, I got this old guy, and he was in his 80s, so he was old.
Oh, he's old.
And and 30 years away. Anyway, he was like talking about it, and I was just like, I don't have time for this. I'm not sure what this old guy's talking about, but I do not have time to deal with this. Then a couple weeks later, I was doing something. I was like, I never listened to that guy's voicemail. I have time now. Let me go back and listen to that. So I go back and listen to it, and he's telling me that him and his wife bought a gingerbread house in 76. At the end of the year, they never ate it. It didn't fall apart. And they were like, well, let's just put it away and see if it survives. And if it does, we'll use it next year. And they opened it up in 77, and it still looked good. And she repaired it. And then I guess they bought a deep freezer specifically for it.
Oh, wow.
And they would put it in a box with foil, put it in the freezer every year, and get it out in November every year. And they repeated that exercise for 38 years. And then so she passed away in 2014 of cancer. And he was like, you know, it doesn't seem right to throw it away. And he goes, I don't have the heart to pull it out. He goes, do you want it? And I was like, wow, this is a sweet story. I'm like, I wonder if I can get somebody to tell it so it's out there more, because kind of a tearjerker type thing. Like, I'll take it. So I came up and got it, and then I called a friend of mine who's a columnist from the New York Times who'd covered Gingerbread Lane before. I was like, hey, Corey, this is a really good story. I know you've covered me before, but this story isn't really about me. This story is more about
them.
I'm sure you'll work Gingerbread Lane into it, but this really isn't about me. And so he pitched to his editor, and the New York Times came with me to pick the house up. And then we actually put it directly in the exhibit that year after Guinness had already been and certified. We put it in the exhibit, and then the Times gave me a cover story on Christmas Day. And it's the most beautiful story. I shouldn't have said me. It was definitely about the house. But it was a tearjerker. It should be a Hallmark movie, definitely, because it's just such a beautiful story. And now, fast forward all these years later, I still have it. In some years, I pull it out and do different events with it. I took it on your old employer, ABC, one time, took it in studio there. And it definitely still makes the rounds and kind of gets out there so people can see it. And I'm not planning on ever letting it fall apart. I think 4 or 5 years ago, I reconstructed it. It started to fall apart. So I pulled all the components out and then put like a nice core of icing in the center to make it more stable, and then put it back together using all the original parts from 1976. The exterior has nothing new. It's all the old stuff from 76 on the
Do
exterior.
you still talk to the guy? Has he
I've been trying to reach him for years, and I can't get a hold of him. And I Googled his name with the obituary, like that I missed something.
Yeah.
And I can't find it. So I'm just like, well, let's hope he's okay. You know, he'd probably be around, I'm guessing, 90 at this point.
Wow.
So you never know.
Well, it's nice that you still are holding on their tradition with
Definitely.
that gingerbread house.
And I think of them. I say their names, Steve Luxey and Betty Deenan. Okay, there we go. I'll still say their names from time to time, and I'll pass the house, particularly during January, February, when it's slower down there, and it's darn near the only thing sitting down there. And I'll be like, I'll touch it, and I'll be like, I hope you had a good year. It's good to see you,
Yeah.
And I'll fully admit, I talk to my gingerbread houses all the time. There's nothing wrong with it.
I get it.
I'm surrounded by houses made of sugar and 7-year-olds most of the year, so...
So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do that with the diner. It's like I would go in there and I just like talk to the diner and be like, look, I'm working on it. Like, just give me some time.
As long as it doesn't respond to you, you're okay.
One time the door just like slammed when I said that. I was like,
okay, sure, Dana. I'm sure you're gonna fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're giving me an attitude. So you started this Gingerbread Lane in 1994.
1994.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
never meant for it to grow into this.
That's what I was going to say, because you were a chef prior, right? You were working in the food business?
I was a chef. I was a successful one. I was the executive chef of the Algonquin Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. I was the executive chef of the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan. And done some other very nice hotels. I was the banquet chef at the Hay Adams Hotel in D.C. across from the White House. I had a career as a chef. I had a great career. Was nominated for a Michelin star. I was a top 30 chefs under 30 in the Washington Post. I had a great culinary career, and I loved it. Like when I started Gingerbread Lane, it was something on the side, a side mistress, I guess you could say. And I was never really looking for it to be my job because I really enjoyed being a chef all the way to the end, even at the end at the Algonquin where I finished my career. I'd gotten my restaurant, I think, 4.8 stars on Open Table.
Wow.
We were doing well. We had a waiting list to get in for dinner, and so I was doing great with my career. I had no desires to necessarily leave it, but as the Guinness World Record aspect crept up and Gingerbread Lane got bigger and bigger, and it was getting harder and harder because when you're a chef, you don't have time for this big, crazy, invasive hobby.
You don't.
You really don't have time to sleep.
Yeah.
And as difficult as being a chef was financially, there's a lot of things you don't have the finances to handle. Nice car, nice house, rent, heat, food, things like that are hard to come by on a chef's salary. And this makes it even harder, I guess you could say.
A lot of sacrifice.
But it was just like at the end I realized I needed to make a choice. I can either continue being an executive chef, which I'm successful at, or I can pursue this, which will probably be even harder fiscally and definitely in terms of keeping the business functional from one year to the next. I got to do one or the other. And so I thought about it long and hard. And towards the end of my chef career, it was just like they call this a widowmaker for a reason. And there's very few chefs in their 50s and 60s. There's just not that many.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to make it go with Gingerbread Lane. And it's honestly about the same amount of hours. It's just more spread out in a way that you can manage. Like the first half of the year, those hours are so easy. There's a lot of 4-day weekends, 5-day weekends in January and February. I rarely go over 20, 25 hours a week, January, February. Next month, I will lay on my couch in flannels with coffee, and I will scream at the top of my lungs that I love January, because I do. And but then, as the year ramps up, the hours increase, and then once you get to anywhere near 4th of July, you're putting in 60, 70 a week.
You are like Santa Claus, though. Like Scott Calvin.
And if it wasn't for an incredible Dominican barber in the Lower East Side, I would look like him too, because every other month we do a nice mahogany here to make me look the 49, not the 64.
Because you literally, you work all year round like Santa Claus does. And then, by Christmas time,
like Scott Calvin, it's not just one day a year. There's some easy months in the beginning, but let me tell you, Easter onwards, it's a ton of work.
Well, it's like that quote that I always love now because, after leaving my full-time job, it's like I left my 9 to 5 to work 24/7. That's literally, I'm like, that's so true.
Yeah, now it's like people ask what it's like. What's it like doing Gingerbread Lane full time? I was like, I really like it. My boss is a real jerk. And because I'm my boss, and I tell people when you go into business for yourself, I was in upper management, so I understood upper management and the ownership struggles more than most. I tell a lot of people when you go into business for yourself, you start to understand that a lot of times, there's incompetent people in management, there's incompetent people that are factory workers and Uber drivers. But I tell people when you go into business for yourself, you start to find out why your boss was the way they were more often
Yeah,
than
you
not.
find out the quirks that you
Right.
have.
And you worked for a big corporation just like I did, and there's a lot of stuff you're just like, yeah, this was stupid. They wasted so much time and money on this. Now I'm on the other side. I still think they wasted so much time and money on this. But there's some of the stuff that they waste time and money on because a few people make them with regards to, all the different trainings we have to do from human resources and harassment and everything else. And like 99% of that stuff with workplace violence and harassment and everything else, like 99.99% of it, you're like, this is such common sense stupidity.
Oh yeah, it's always the common sense stuff.
But every so often you meet a coworker where you're like, you specifically are the reason we have to go to that damn class. It's you. This is on you. So you figure it out along the way, but it's definitely so much easier.
But how did it start? Like how did what it made you being like, I'm gonna make a gingerbread house and then now I'm gonna make 1,000? Like where did that where did that window
Something's
go?
off mentally, really, but. I mean,
I'm interviewing you.
the first one I did in
same
'94 was a gingerbread house competition that I lost, and
okay, so it was a competition that started it all.
yeah, and I grew up in Kansas City, so I'd had so
Why'd
much
you
practice
lose?
with losing, but it was the competition I lost because other people were better than me. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
What were you making? Like gingerbread house? It had to be like nice and pretty or something.
Yeah,
like that?
and I made a house. It was okay, but like the people that were so ornate and detailed that won it.
Oh, okay, that kind of
But
thing.
and that wasn't what bothered me. It's that they weren't houses. Like one guy made Russian tea dolls, and this one lady made this really beautiful sailboat, and
But it wasn't like the house.
it wasn't a house, and it wasn't even gingerbread or icing. And I was just like, like edible clay and fondant and pastelage and stuff that no human being eats.
Okay, so I'm bringing this up. The reason I'm laughing is because back in like 7th or 8th grade, right, we'd have like the Halloween dance, the Christmas dance, all that kind of stuff. They would have these competitions where you would, make a pumpkin or carve a pumpkin or do something like that. So I had this really awesome idea. I had like this pumpkin eating a little baby pumpkin. Like it was very Halloween themed. And the girl that won, she just bejeweled her pumpkin. She didn't even carve it. She just put jewels on it. And I was like, you didn't even carve the pumpkin. What are you talking about? This is not it's just a pumpkin that you glued jewels on.
Yeah.
And it was like a princess smiley face kind of thing.
Pretty similar.
So I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
So I was like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go make my own gingerbread village.
That's what you
I'm gonna
do.
rip their name off.
Yeah.
Gingerbread Lane. Totally stole their name. And
don't even know
and then so I ended up making a small village that same year. Mm-hmm. And would have fit probably on this table. Mm-hmm. This one's bigger. So this one, about 14
Okay,
houses.
like a small. Okay, nothing crazy. Yeah.
And so the chef at the hotel I was at, because I was young, I was a sous chef, and he was like, "John, have you ever done this before?" I'm like, "Absolutely, yeah." I'd never done it.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Even the gingerbread house I made for the competition, I was using gingerbread mix from Price Chopper. No mixer. No.
Yeah.
And then so I set out to do it, and I made stained glass windows with melted Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, cool.
And it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And like I noticed right away that people were like taking pictures of it. This is the 1990s, Dana. It's a big deal.
I was alive.
24 shots on the roll. You had to wait a week to get it back.
Yeah.
So if you
gotta
took
go
a picture
over
of something, it was a serious commitment. It's not like now where you
That
can
was
like,
it.
take it and edit it and add Bill
Have
Clinton in the
6,000.
picture. It's a different world back then. And so, yeah, I noticed everybody's taking pictures in front of it. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Real people would do like this. Well, we'll try it again next year maybe. And then so I moved to Washington, D.C. with my trying to, move my career forward at that point. And did it at the hotel I was at in D.C. And then the next year after that, that's when I was at the Hay Adams, 96. And so I wanted to do my gingerbread exhibit, and they were like, "John, this is a colonial era hotel. We do not have room in our lobby, which is not much bigger than this room.
Yeah.
And if you want to do something like that, you're going to have to, probably find some place that wants it, maybe a shopping mall. A museum would be great." I was like, "A museum, that's a great idea." So I go in the Yellow Pages, young, naive kid from Kansas City, go in the Yellow Pages, open it up, and looking at museums, and I'm like, oh, let's call this one. So I call this museum that I had never heard of,
Yeah.
named the Smithsonian.
Okay.
I grew up in the Midwest. We didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
And so I cold called the frickin' Smithsonian, and they took it.
Wow.
Gingerbread Lane was at the Smithsonian for 2 years.
How many gingerbread houses did you have back then?
So I went 14 the first year, 38 the second year, and when I went to the Smithsonian, we went to 138.
Wowee. Okay.
And it was like, wow. And it stayed at about that size, mid 100s, low 200s, honestly, all the way until I went for the world record the first time.
So did that steer you to going like over 1,000? Like you looked up like who the last, you're good. You're going over the last winner of like or the record holder? And
No,
you're like, okay, they
I
made
never
this
had
many?
any interest until the world record, until I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a number of years in the early 2000s. I think I was there for 6 years. And the last year I lived in Pittsburgh, 2012. 2011, I can't remember if it was 2011 or 2012 when I saw it on the news. But I was just doing something in my living room and some network news I had on. And we come back, the world's largest gingerbread village. Stay tuned. And I was like, oh, cool, I want to see this.
I'm intrigued, yeah.
And so it comes back, and I was and like, this is the world's biggest gingerbread village in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I'm like looking at this thing like, I have lazy eyes, so I'm already looking at it sideways, but now I'm like really looking at it, with my eyes going opposite directions, where I'm like, this is not the world's, mine's bigger than that. And so I'm like, why are they, okay.
How many did they have?
I don't even know, but it was I could just tell by looking. I think he said 100.
Oh, boring.
And I was like, oh, come on, dude.
Get on my level.
And then so at some point in the next year or two, I went online, figured it out with Guinness, and then so I got a hold of somebody like, we don't have a world record for the world's largest gingerbread village, but we do have criteria. I was like, how do you have criteria if you don't have a record holder? Well, that's what we do at Guinness. We have criteria for thousands of records that have never been set. Because that's what we do. We're the body that establishes that. And it's more about somebody hitting it for the first time than there truly is a record to break. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. So in 2013, I went through the process, and it was a long one, a lot of back and forth. And then finally I set the world record in late November of 2013 for the first time with 157 houses. And,
oh, wow.
And it was, about the size that I normally was, but like, was happy to get it, obviously. And it became this international disaster, well, depending on how you look at it, I guess. Yeah. But like, I had all these organizations, so Sweden, Norway, Germany, Finland, telling me that theirs was bigger than mine was. Theirs, like, and particularly the one in Norway, because the other ones were like saying, we're 5, we're 100, we're 700, whatever. And
Yeah,
the one
but they didn't submit.
The one in Norway was like over 1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why don't you just attempt to break it?
Yeah.
Why are you contacting me? And they were like, well, because we're a large community where everybody brings in the houses and we don't know what's in them. We can't keep track. And we know for a fact a lot of them do use styrofoam and wood.
Oh,
so we can never break the record.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm very sorry,
That's not
And it got really ugly. Like, we got in this fight in the Daily Mail.
Dang.
And like, I said, no, they're liars. And of course, the Daily Mail took that and ran, because they're the Daily Mail. That's what they do. And
like front cover.
Oh yeah, the Daily Mail made it a big headline on their equivalent of page 6. And I'm like, oh God. All right. And then I legitimately had people from Bergen, Norway, told me they hoped I'd get cancer.
Wow.
I was like, okay, let's settle down here. There's a lot of serious things in the world, and gingerbread houses are not one of them. And
your jets.
Yeah, I was like, so let's just chill. Look, I'm sorry that you guys can't have the record, and I'm sorry that you're mad that I now have it when yours is bigger, but let's stop the stupidity.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't even my full-time job. Well, back then. And then so in 2014, I was like coming off of I don't want to say death threats, because it wasn't that bad, but there was some ugly stuff.
Yeah.
There was some like people saying stuff about my wife online and me and this fat chef in New York. He's not even that good. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, you've dined at my hotel, sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we clearly need to step up our game in 2014. And I remember I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go over 1,000 houses. Yeah. I'm doing it.
That's
I'm
what I
doing
would
it.
do.
I'm going to set the next record at 1,000, and that will shut everybody up.
Lock in.
And so we went from 157 to 1,003, which I had never done. And it had some aesthetics to it that were nice, but overall I was embarrassed about a lot of the village, because I'd never done that quantity before. And the layout they gave me at the Hall of Science in Queens wasn't that great. Everybody loved it. Everybody was in love with it, and I was like, "This looks like
a charm, though.
This looks like hell." And everybody was like, "This is amazing! It's beautiful!" And I'm just like, "All right, fine."
So in the record, like, do you have to be the only one making it, or can people contribute?
I've had a team of 30 that took me on and lost.
Oh, really?
I don't know how they pulled that off.
No way.
There was this group in somewhere in the Middle East. I can't remember where it was. I honestly can't remember what country it was now, but it was somewhere in the Middle East.
Wow. It
might have just been India, actually. I can't. It might have been India. Whatever. There was 30 of them. And I was actually mad they were going to set the record, because at the time they were trying to break it. I'd had it much higher already, and theirs looked terrible. Like, it was so ugly. And I contacted Guinness. I'm like, I don't mind somebody breaking my record. good for them. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, I've advised people on how to break my record. I've had people contact me, and I've given them advice and counsel and talked them through it. And yeah, but I contacted Guinness. I was like, you can't certify that as the world record. That thing is so ugly looking. They're just going for straight quantity. These things really are terrible. And they're like, sir, we don't care about the aesthetics.
Oh,
We just care
wow.
about the numbers. And I was like, it's just... And I ended up breaking it 2 more times after that to get it to where I have it now, 1251. And yeah, it's I've had so many people take me on that can't do it, and I don't understand it. More so because like I'm like a older juvenile delinquent at this point. Like I do not respect authority or rules or policies.
You just rebel.
You know, I'm very big on civil disobedience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did I manage to manipulate a British group 5 years running?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say manipulate because I did what they
You
asked.
did. Yeah, you did.
But I'm just like, how is that possible that I did that? And I'm like, the light's red. It's late at night. It's negotiable. You know, so many rules I refuse to follow on principle alone. Don't even talk to me about taxes. And but I'm like, how did I manage to break this record over and over and over again? And and these other groups can't. And I just don't understand it. And in recent years, there's definitely been a few attempts. And I think people
Do you still hold it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Look
reigning
at you
champ,
go.
if I get the right organization at some point in the future,
Yeah.
I would attempt to break it again.
Yeah, you should. Why not?
There's a group in Midtown.
One last hurrah.
There's a group in Midtown I really want to work with, and they've wanted to host Gingerbread Lane.
You gotta make it like a whole event. Like if you're gonna break it again, you gotta make it like a big thing. Like
If I break it again, I'm going for 1,500. I'm not going for 1,250.
No, but you gotta make it like a whole thing. Like, you know, like people come in, they view that you're making it, or like they come in, they help make it. It's like a whole event thing.
What I've noticed with Guinness World Records, they're very smart. They understand the value of good press. One of my records I broke, they certified it live on the Today Show when they were arguing with me about whether they were going to certify it.
Oh, okay.
And they were still going back and forth, and I'm standing there with Al Roker and Matt Lauer back in the old days, and they're like talking to me. So like, you're trying to break the record this year? I'm like, yeah, I'm really close. We're going back and forth with Guinness right now. And I noticed this lady walking out with a picture frame and a blue blazer. I'm like, oh man, they got me live on air. And people like friends of mine were like, were you faking that? I'm like, no. Why?
That's awesome. That's cool though.
And if I do it again, like Guinness is smart. Like they like their policies and they follow them, but they're also smart. They understand the value of good, solid media.
Yeah,
so
of
I know
course.
they'll bend some of their policies if there's some good media involved. They're not going to like reverse their ethics and change their rules, but I think like that whole aspect of what to do with it, the disposition.
Yeah.
I think they would change that rule for me if I could get them some good media again. So
Well, you know what you got?
got?
We've had this conversation way back in the day. Now, when we first met, we did like the first little story with you. But you said you wanted to be in the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Definitely.
We should make that happen.
Well, I love you to death, sweetie, and I've used you for your connections before, but you legitimately have become my friend.
Yeah.
You know, you entertain me on Instagram so much.
I'm glad.
I'm happily married and I love my wife, but at heart I'm a dirty old man. So, you know, like when I see that runway stuff that you post, I'm like, wow, Dana Schaefer, wow.
It's okay.
But
you
no,
and
you
5
really
million
have
other people,
become,
I
like,
guess.
we've stayed in touch. You've legitimately become
Yeah.
my friend. Most in the media, I don't become friends with everybody. But you have some great connections. So I know you could, like, if we put our heads together.
Not even if it's connections, but just delusion, I think.
Well,
so I can make it happen out of my delusional
space.
space.
You're one of those people that you care about other people's dreams.
Yeah.
You
That's
care
why I did
about
this
other people's
podcast.
desires, and you're one of those people, like, you're genuine with that. You're like, what can we do to help? But like with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and it had to be a good year for weather. 2 years ago,
Yeah. Go.
Would've been like,
Definitely
we're
not.
canceling.
Yeah.
But as long as it's dry out,
Yeah.
I really feel like we could design a float with Gingerbread Lane on it, 360, where it's covering the entire float.
Maybe just have like a little like a roof on it just in case.
Just in
it's a bad
case, maybe, yeah.
weather.
But like, and then it could be inspected by Guinness World Records right there in Herald
Yeah.
Square, and they could give us the record live on television. It'd be
what I'm
great. And then the
saying.
village itself. Have I been doing this whole thing with icing in my beard? You
Maybe.
never told me.
There's icing everywhere.
Thanks, Dana.
studios.
So yeah, like, and then the village could be deconstructed and set up somewhere at that point.
Yeah.
Box it up and take it to wherever we're going to put it that year. But yeah, I really want to do that, and I think
And at the Macy's.
I've been pitching with NBC, Macy's, both, and like, I haven't heard back, but I'm not giving up. Maybe one of them will listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
You never know, but it's definitely a goal to do that, and I think in this world of things, especially how we live nowadays in 2025, somebody hears something, they see something. Like we got a big story coming out later today. This will obviously be heard by quite a few people at the same. Somebody will know somebody that will hear something or see something at some point. And I think that thing with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I think it's going to happen.
I think we just have to start it. And I'm saying we as it's like I'm in the team now. I'm part of the team.
You're more than welcome.
I would love to. I mean, I love decorating
in my basement.
Yeah. I know. It's
That's
so
not
funny.
as weird as it sounds. That's what the gingerbread is.
No, yes, exactly. So what does she think about all this, actually? Because that's another thing, yeah. Does she love it? Does she help you decorate now?
She does. I temper her optimism because I'm like, I really want you to do so much more than this. Please be better than me. Please go farther. I know people love what I do.
Bring it to next level.
I know people love Gingerbread Lane, and it has a following. Like, we were on an HGTV show this year, Hoarding Christmas, and it's you see the explosion of reactions with it and stuff when you do things. And so I know people love it. But I temper Cece's optimism. Be like, Mommy, go be a doctor. Or, be like Daddy's friend Dana. Be this really exceptional.
No, there's no consistency in my life whatsoever.
Just anything but this. She likes it. Like I took her to Houston with me a couple weeks ago.
I saw the interview. That you had with her. Yeah, it was so cute.
She's such a ham.
Yeah.
But I took her to Houston, Texas the week before that, where I have one of my exhibits down there at the Fine Art Museum in Houston. And it's outdoors out there. Like Gingerbread Lane's indoors in a tent with a facade, so it looks like a beautiful wooden North Pole building. And we're doing gingerbread houses, make your own gingerbread house that night. And she's like standing outside the tent screaming at people. Come over here, my daddy has gingerbread houses.
You guys,
like, sweetie, we've talked about this on Halloween when you stand there and scream, come over here, I have candy. People don't come running. They think that's weird. But they did. And so she was teaching people how to make gingerbread houses that night. So, and she loves helping with it. She really does love helping decorate and things like that. Yeah. Some like the Fox News one that you saw the other night. She did not want to do that. She was very irritated by that whole thing.
Really?
Because she was at a friend's house playing. Because I was just coming back from Chicago, and she didn't want to go. She'd made it very well known that she didn't want to go. I was like, sweetie, if you come with me to do this interview, you're going to get ice cream. We're going to be in Manhattan, so it'll be good ice cream.
Great.
And you do this interview, and you'll help me decorate. And she was like stomping around her friend's Tori's house. Like, don't want to go.
Sorry, friends, I have to go on TV.
Right. And you saw it, right?
Yeah.
She
did good.
She owned it. Like I was a guest star. She was totally, the principal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And she's actually done quite a few of those over the years. I'm pretty sure she made a cameo on yours several years ago when you did it.
I think she ran onto the camera or something like that. She did say something.
She loves it. She's so cute with it.
Yeah, so she's good.
She's awesome. Definitely, and that was live. So she was live, and she hasn't. I don't think she's done any of the big ones live, like Today's Show, Good Morning America, things like that. But she's done the affiliate type stuff. This is New York City, so millions are seeing it still.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's not like Boise, Idaho, or something. No offense, Boise, Idaho.
No offense, but
I grew up in Kansas City. I know the difference between big cities and really big cities.
So, like, when you told your wife that you were like, I think I'm going to do this full time, what did she say? She's like, all right.
Well, I kind of had her trapped at that point.
Yeah,
we've been living together a year and a half, and she really wanted to marry me for some reason, which I'm still not sure why. And but at that point, I think she was like, I've already put my eggs in this basket. I'm getting late 30s. I've been with this dude 2 years. I'm gonna have to ride it out, I guess. But no, she was incredibly supportive, and she has been for the last 10 years. She was very supportive. I think she saw like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, he'll make less money, but he'll be home more, and we want to have a family.
Yeah, true.
And because with being a chef, you maybe you're home Mondays, maybe.
Well, my I never see my boyfriend. Yeah. He lives with me, but I never see him.
And it's like you're working constantly. Even when you're off work, you're still working on your produce order, your fish order, your bread order, your recipes, your menus.
Yeah, you have to pick it up.
Sometimes you test things at home with food even. And so I think she saw the light at the end of the tunnel with that, and she knew how much I enjoyed doing it. She knows how much like I enjoy making people happy. People come from all over the world to see Gingerbread Lane because of the media aspect of it.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
That's how you found me.
So it's like I think she saw the value in that, and it was like we'd been exploring it before that year. That last year going into it, I was exploring it. When my chef career, when I made the decision, I'd been exploring it for about a year and a half. So it wasn't just like a harebrained scheme at the last minute. And once I realized I was going to have 3 or 4 places locked in that first year that were going to pay me for it, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's a different business model. All my revenue comes in January. Get all my money in January. I have to divide it by 12.
Oh, wow.
And, you have to okay, here's what we're going to spend on rent for the year. Here's what we're going to spend on utilities. Obviously, the supplies that go with making this, gas for the car, things like that. Because, it does get you deep in debt the fourth quarter of the year where you have 5 figures on 2 different credit cards.
Yeah.
And then, because it's mainly Gingerbread Lane stuff at that point, a lot of air travel and all the supplies and everything else. And then January comes around, you pay everything back to zero. You put 5 figures away for rent for the next, 12 months and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And so it creates a different, I'm sorry, my phone's ringing only in my ear. You didn't hear that. I have hearing aids now. I keep forgetting that it's Bluetooth hearing aids.
No way.
I'm getting a phone call and I'm like, oh, the podcast is gonna hear that. No, you're not.
No, that's so cool. Wow, I didn't even know that's a thing.
Well, us old people, we get excited about things like that. But Judy was very supportive. She really liked the idea, and it's definitely become more and more advantageous to us over the years because her career is very stressful. She's a veterinary dermatologist, and it can be some very, very long days with that. Sometimes it's 12-hour days followed by 6-hour days the day after, catching up on her records. Yeah. So with me being able to do this and 10 months out of the year, it's very flexible when I'm working. Like, I still have to work, but like in January, February,
help her out
June, July, August, like I can take care of everything, and I'm nocturnal. I have endless energy. I thrive on 4-hour nights of sleep. So like they go to sleep in July.
Our brains need to be studied.
Oh yeah.
People like us. Yeah. There's something wrong.
But July, I'll take Cece swimming. I'll pick up Judy from work. I'll cook dinner. I'll clean the house. And 9:30, they're both on the couch. I'm like, okay, let's get to work. And then I'll work till 4 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so it definitely, it works for her. And like for the longest time, it was, I'm there to take care of my daughter. And nowadays it's like, no, I'm there to take care of my daughter and my wife. But that's okay.
No, that's good.
I consider it quite the honor, actually.
Yeah, I feel like that's it's always important to have someone that's going to support you in your dreams and goals and everything, even how ridiculous they are,
Definitely.
So with the gingerbread house or like the gingerbread cookie, you make those all. So this gingerbread house, everything you made, like the cookie and everything, you cut it out, everything.
The gingerbread is all me. The icing is all me. I don't make M&Ms. I could.
Yeah, you probably could. I'm sure.
I know how to make chocolate lentils and coat them, but the labor. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
no.
wouldn't live long enough. I don't have the equipment or the desire. But all the little figurines like you see on this house on the left side, there's some little gingerbread men. This one isn't even one of my more detailed ones. This is. This was actually one I'm like, it's okay.
So what's the tip or trick or hint for people that want to make actual gingerbread houses and you have it where these gingerbread there's some curves to it, there's the straight walls, everything. So because sometimes if you make a cookie, it's not hard enough or it's too soft, it'll crumble. So what's the key?
Well, the biggest key I tell people is make it one day, decorate it the next. Take gravity out of the equation. Because gingerbread is supposed to be good family fun. It's really a good way to go in family therapy. You just keep falling down, breaking, cracking. And I tell people, take
it's building IKEA furniture.
Take gravity out of the equation. Build it Saturday, decorate it Sunday. And then if you want to get crazier with stuff like this, I have 2 alcoves on the front, which are curved pieces.
Yeah.
Come out of the oven hot, lay them over a can of aerosol so they bend. And then once you let them sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, they got a nice curve in them.
Wow.
And then from there, the more time you put into it, with the icing art, which has become my biggest thing, is making. This is actually very novice icing art on this one. Like the exhibit itself, I have a taxi cab that Santa Claus is driving. I have an Empire State Building. I have street signs, mailboxes, Santa Claus.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some of those.
All the way out of icing, and that takes a lot more time. Icing and parchment paper. You make it one layer, let it sit for 1 to 3 days, peel it off to parchment. Wow. Give it 5 to 10 more layers, and then once you're satisfied with the thickness, then go vertical to add that second and third dimension, smooth it out. That takes time. And then the cookie aspect you mentioned, some days are hard, some days are soft. That's the aggravating part, depending on where you're at in the country, depending on where you're listening right now. If you're in Houston or Louisiana, good luck, because you guys live in swamps. It's wet down there. My exhibit right now at the Fine Art Museum in Houston has 70 humidifiers guarding it.
Really?
My exhibit in New Orleans last year was the same. 1 year in College Station, Texas, they had 12 dehumidifiers running because the air down there is so wet. In my workshop in Queens, I have anywhere from 1 to 7 dehumidifiers running. Normally. Right now, my exhibits are all open, so I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, you're
I'm all
like,
full and
they're
I can
done.
care less.
Yep.
I'll fire them up in January at some point. And but yeah, dehumidifiers help because it keeps the gingerbread consistent.
How about the icing? Could that mess the icing up too? If
Not
you
really.
No.
It
Okay.
takes the icing longer to dry in the wetness, but it'll
Is it just powdered sugar like water?
powdered
like,
sugar,
is it like
egg
that
whites,
kind?
cream of tartar.
Oh, okay,
Cream
okay,
of
that
tartar,
type.
cream of tartar and thyme. You know, put that cream of tartar in, you turn it on, you look at it at first, you're like, there's no way I can use this, it's too wet. And I'm like, yeah, crank that thing all the way up
Yeah.
and let it go. And then depending on how many you want to wait, Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist can be your best friend because I go through 2 to 3 KitchenAid mixers every year.
Really?
Yeah, they gingerbread is not an easy material on them. Sometimes you can hear
beat 'em.
it just jamming it up.
Yeah.
And like right now, I have one on reserve, so I'm kind of ready. But like anytime my wife and I go somewhere, I'm always like on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. People will give them
So
away
good.
for $50-$60, and I'm not buying a new one because A, the new ones aren't that good anyway.
Yeah.
And B, with me just burning them up, I'm like, I'm not paying $300 for something. There's no way it'll see New Year's.
Yeah, it's so much easier just to use that. Wow.
But actually, I have this. You've seen my house.
Yeah.
I have 3 dead ones in the garage right now. I'm actually, once I get to 4 or 5, I'm going to turn them into planters.
Oh, that's cute. That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
I'm just going to put the bowl in, maybe put a hole in the bottom, and then fill it with petunias or begonias or whatever.
You know, I saw someone do that with like a 1920s oven.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I saw a 1920s oven on Facebook Marketplace like last night, literally, not even kidding. And I was like, should I get this?
My grandfather, for the
And I
longest time,
would.
had one in his basement. I wanted it so bad, but I'm like,
Because you could just do something
how
with
on
it.
earth am I getting a cast iron stove out of a basement on a wooden staircase?
That's literally, they were like, this is so heavy, you need like 7 people to lift it
How
up.
the hell they got it down there in the 1920s?
I
but-
also have like a kitchen, like a kitchen that's probably the size of this table. So I'm like, where am I going to put it?
When I set the first world record, the New York Times columnist that wrote it, and it was a great story he wrote. World's largest gingerbread village comes from the Bronx's smallest kitchen.
Oh.
And it wasn't much bigger than this table. He was
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The oven door didn't fully open. The dishwasher didn't fully open. The refrigerator didn't fully.
I don't know how you
New
do
York
it.
City kitchen.
Yeah, but still, it's a lot. I mean, if you have a small kitchen, it's a doozy trying to do all
Yeah,
that.
It's, and that's one of the things we've talked about over the years. Should we
Mm-hmm.
get me like since I have a studio space to do this off site? And like that's such an extra big expense at that point.
I know, it's
You're
hard.
really cutting into your profit, which is so not
Not,
to
not
begin
like
with.
nothing.
And it's like, and then all those hours that are easier to work because I'm working them from home in flannels and socks.
Yeah, yeah. Now you have to
off-site
dress
somewhere.
up and go out, go outside. It's
Right.
too much. It's too much.
I was thinking about that today because so many of my appearances for the public media or just public facing appearances, I take the time to put on real nice pair of slacks.
Nah, not Dishin
$600
with
pair of
Dana.
Bostonians. And I was like thinking about it today. I'm like,
We're gonna roll up.
podcast. We're gonna be sitting. I've seen her podcast. We're gonna be sitting at a table. I was like, I don't even need pants. I can just put flannels on.
Yeah, no,
And-
thank God.
I took the time to go classy with
No,
jeans.
I want this to be relaxed. It's like a conversation. So it's like, oh, what should I wear? I'm like, wear whatever you want. Just be
how well we
comfy.
know each other because
Yeah,
I'm always
exactly.
reaching out to you throughout the year. I'm like the diner.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Every so often I do inquire about how it's going with the boyfriend, things like that.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
it's just
I'm glad that now
fun.
you could be on my show on my time and what I want to do. I don't have to cut anything out. This can all stay in because this is Dishin with Dana.
Well, I've told you that and I won't lie now that you're talking to me, on the podcast. I have not listened to every episode. I will not tell you that
Mm-hmm. No,
lie.
that's fine. I'm not
But
expecting that.
about 4 or 5 of them
Mm-hmm.
before you even asked me to be on. So it wasn't like, oh crap, I need to research. No, I actually listened to a couple of them on an airplane.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's
I
awesome.
started to binge and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Little
had nothing to do with
sleep.
you.
It's fine.
Was tired. But I told you, before we got on here, I was like, I knew how much passion you had for your former world.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
really
yeah.
loved radio. It really it came through. Like it wasn't. There's a lot of people in the media that's just like any other profession. It is just a job,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's okay. It's how we all pay our bills and everything else. It doesn't have to be your passion. And I was lucky in my chef world, and you were very lucky in that. That you really had so much passion for radio.
Yeah.
And I think I told you one time before, it had to be kind of neat to work right there in a building named after a woman who had shattered so many glass ceilings, with Diane Sawyer's name on it. And that
Yeah.
reminds you as a woman, hey, there's no limits. And but like I told you before, I could tell with this podcast, you're so much more at ease. You're so much more
Yeah.
comfortable. And you mentioned constraints with corporate, and that's obviously a thing, but I think you're just happier.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could be rich and really unhappy, or you could be like not rich and happier.
I did make more as a chef. I made probably 25, 30%
but you know
more as
what?
a
So
chef,
many more
but
people.
I'm way happier.
Yeah, and more people that I've been talking to either on this podcast or off the podcast or just friends and stuff. They're like, I see what you're doing now, and like I'm kind of in the same boat, and I feel so much better now that I left this job or I did this instead, or like, and I mean like that's kind of like what I'm doing with this is like I want to talk to people like you that are just like that reinvented themselves or pivoted or whatever it is to doing something crazy, cool, ridiculous, fun, whatever it may be, but you're making it work that way, you know?
Yeah, and this time of year, I'm just like, it's winding down.
Yeah.
And I love the holidays, or I wouldn't have created a business that revolves around it.
Yeah.
But it becomes weird because part of your brain's like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be like that.
And then the other part of your brain's like, but I'm in no hurry. I just finished getting my tree decorated last night. I'm going to do my bushes later tonight. And
I just put the tree up
stockings will
yesterday.
probably go up this weekend, and so like you're torn. Part of you's like, I'm ready for iced latte pajama season, ski season.
Sounds good.
And the other party is like, yeah, but the world really is a better place this time of the year. It truly
it's
is.
bright, colorful,
it's beautiful. But people in general act. This is an old Bill Murray quote from Scrooge, but it's true. Where for a brief moment every year, people act like the people they want to act like the rest of the year. And it's true because people, they're so much more charitable. They're so much more friendly for the most part.
Yeah.
A lot of people in New York City, whatever. But like, there's that brief moment that everybody acts like who they should act like the rest of the year, and it really is a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And our family, we have a tendency to celebrate our holidays a lot in January. Like that tree does not come down until around Martin Luther King Day or later. Unless it gets
my
dry.
dad and I kept it up till February once.
One year, my wife
Valentine's Day.
tripped and fell into it, and every needle came off. So it's like, okay, that's got to
Yeah,
come out. That's got to come out. It clearly was an optical illusion. But we will do as many Christmas activities deep into January as we can. We'll find places that are still doing things. We'll enjoy it. Then at a certain point, mid to late, you're like, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you're torn in two directions. Yay, I want this over. B, I'm like, no, let's live in the moment. And then when it's over from a business standpoint with what I do, it's very specialized. So once it's truly over, then you're like, crap, I got to book business for next year, which I'm already making.
Yeah, because you have to start the momentum going.
Already sending pitches. Like ideally, you're like, I'd like to stay at the places I'm at. This year I got some great locations. I honestly wouldn't mind staying at all the locations I'm at, but it is an expense that they have to like look at from a business perspective. Do we want to spend this again next year?
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. That dirty ROI stuff. And I'm like, so I have to kind of go through that, and inevitably I have to find new locations next year, at least one or two.
Yeah.
And that part sucks because you're like, now I got to go to these meetings, I got to do all these pitches, and then
There's a lot more work to
it is
to it than
these
you
places
think.
Ghost you.
Yeah.
Like they have meetings. At their meetings, you're on these Zoom calls. Sometimes you're there in person. All this stuff, and then when it's time for a decision, which is clearly no, they won't even talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, just tell me no.
I feel like that's like how society is now.
I've had so many people tell me no over the years between Gingerbread and my chef world and dating and everything else. It's like I can handle it.
It's like it's all right. I got thick skin.
There's three simple words. We're not interested. Okay.
Yeah.
I can take a hint usually.
So what's your recipe for success at this point in life?
Recipe for success at this or in general?
Just in general or whatever. Like I mean, whatever you find the answer comes to.
You see something you want and you think you can achieve it, go for it. Even if you don't think you can achieve it. Sometimes you swing for the fences and you fail. Sometimes you swing for the fences and you do it. Last year, Gingerbread Lane was at the shops at Columbus Circle. That was a great location. Such a posh, beautiful location. I loved being there. And then before that, we were at Chelsea Market.
Yeah.
And then we had, some years at Essex Market downtown.
That's where I went, I think.
Every one of those locations had the same thing in common at the end of them. When I was driving home that last night, I'm just like, I had Gingerbread Lane be successful in New York City, in Manhattan, appear on top 10 lists for holiday activities. I was like, that's pretty amazing. And so, like, if you want to achieve it, if you just put your heart and soul into it and try. And if you don't get it, then try again at something else. Change the bar you've set for yourself, that sort of thing. My wife, 11 years ago, when I wanted to start dating her, she wasn't completely sold because I lived in the Bronx and she was in Long Island. Apparently, there's a big deal
long
for
distance.
her. a whole hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this chick's gorgeous. I'm not giving up on this. And, put the work into that, put the work into Gingerbread Lane, put the work into my chef career. You have to be prepared to do a lot of work. And I think nowadays in 2025, in this age we live in, unfortunately, people aren't prepared to put a lot of the work into it. They're just like, well, I'm going to put it out there on social. Okay, and
Yeah.
did you actually make a warm contact with somebody with getting Gingerbread Lane? These places, I don't just send a pitch to info@Columbus Circle. Like,
No, you have to dig.
right, I dig. I'm like, who is the contact? I will, like, once I find out their name, then I Google Dana Schaefer, director of marketing.
Yeah. Find it on
Big Midtown
LinkedIn,
Mall,
this,
email.
that. Yeah.
And then, like, inevitably, you'll find their email. And so many people, when I get a hold of them, like, how do you find my email? I'm like, Google.
Yeah.
Once I figured out who you were and what your title was, I put that together with email
I've
address.
hunted people down.
And inevitably, you'll find it somewhere. For
Yeah.
media contact.
Especially nowadays.
In one case, it was people that were attached to a lawsuit over labor stuff. And I'm like, well, your name was on official government documents. I found it. And, so it's like you just keep trying, And even with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I found that guy. I'm going to keep pitching him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, but it's like, or find somebody that knows somebody. And don't be afraid to take help if the help can, produce results. Because so many people, their pride gets in the way. And I'm like, look, if somebody can introduce me to somebody that knows somebody, you gave me a contact for Good Morning America. It was a great piece. And I've done that for my friends who are in artistic endeavors. But realistically, put the work in. And the work is not, I did a Facebook post, I did an Instagram post, I met an influencer. Like, most influencers are so fake, it's unreal. They've bought their numbers. They've because you can buy.
Yeah, you can buy them now.
You can buy them by the thousands.
Yeah.
So there's so many people that are influencers, or they're doing successful podcasts even, where it's like they have you can tell by the engagement. You can really tell with somebody's engagement. Yours, for example. I see your engagement. It's legitimate people.
One.
They're legitimately commenting. I've seen some of these people. I'm like, no, people like to comment on your stuff, and you can tell that it's legitimate engagement. And so that's what but people, they want to cut in line to get successful where they're going, and they want to just be like dealing with this influencer or that podcast or this social. I'm like, there's so much more to it than that. Realistically, you might be able to steal the key with that, but you're not going to have any sustained success of any kind. You need the general public to
quality versus quantity.
Opening a diner, whether you're making gingerbread exhibits, whether you're going to be a chef, whether you're just going to do a podcast about paranormal activity, whatever it is, you have got to get people legitimately interested. Numbers are not going to do that for you.
Yeah,
you can fake it for a while, but it will not sustain. And so you got to really put that work in to kind of get that done. And people, they want to do shortcuts on all that. They don't want to do the hard work.
No, you just want the payoff at the end and stuff.
Like, I'm in Houston tomorrow night. And we're doing an event at the Houston Museum of Fine Art for Gingerbread Lane. And I've had a slow media year there. I've had 2 hits, which for me, with my markets, I try to get 3 to 5 at each. So I'm like, I'm going to be throughout the afternoon today, definitely while I'm in the air tomorrow on the plane. I'm going to be sending out emails rapid fire to the different affiliates in Houston who've all covered me before.
Yeah.
Hell or high water, I'm going to try to get another hit or 2 before I close that.
Yeah, you might as well. Why not? Yeah, of course.
And that's, when I'm as tired as I am this time of the year, I'd rather just sleep or watch
I feel
Home
you.
Alone on the plane.
This morning I was so comfy.
And listen to my friend's podcast.
Yeah.
I've done. But it's like, no, I really need to, New York's been great with the media. DC and Houston have been light. So I'm like, I got to keep working on that. I need to try to get another hit or 2 because that's kind of the lifeblood for Gingerbread Lane is the media, because the media puts it out there, hopefully does a good story. People see it. They come see the exhibit. And then I get invited back. So it's like, that's that hard work a lot of people are scared of. They were just whatever. I put an Instagram post out. Okay.
So going back to your chef days, because this is always a question I ask everyone here too. What is your favorite dish? Since you're a chef, you might have something.
My favorite dish would be probably more my favorite cuisine would be Southern. It's the only thing Americans actually invented. Everything else in this country is very ripped off, modified, stolen, bastardized in some cases. With Southern cuisine, I developed a love for it in the 90s when I was in D.C. because I really liked plantations. George Washington's home, Thomas Jefferson's home. I had toured them, studied them, got books. And what I discovered was most of what we really love in this country, the foundational cuisine, fried chicken and, chilies, cornbread, stews, pot roasts, all these things that we love here, were all created by the enslaved population. They were given these less than rational rations, these less desired things, like this meat is too tough. We're not eating this. You guys eat it. And then so they took that really inferior cut of meat, and what did they do? They learned how to cook it in a way that made it so tender it was perfect. Brisket.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
And then they gave them the undesirable cuts from the chicken. The breast meat went up to the house, and the wings and legs full of bone things went to the enslaved population. What did they do? They came up with fried chicken. They were given cornmeal and grits like you wouldn't believe, and they came up with cornbread, they came up with chicken and waffles, they came up with and all the different like tough cuts of meat that became stews and pot roast and things like that. So all the comfort foods that we love.
Interesting.
The enslaved population, they came up with all that.
Yeah, you don't think
and
about
that stuff's the best stuff there is.
Yeah.
I could. When you're a chef, there's this mystique that you're going home eating lobster foam and panna cotta and all this stuff. And I like all my chef years, I lived on bodega
cereal.
food.
Yeah.
But when you go home at the end of the night, you are like, I want to go to Pies and Thighs in Williamsburg and get some good fried chicken and a biscuit and some macaroni and cheese, and I will be so happy.
Yeah.
Like when I go out to eat, like the things that people pay so much for in my dining rooms in Manhattan, like you couldn't pay me to eat a fillet. There's no marbling. It's the most boring cut of meat in the world.
I'm the worst. I love fillets.
Give me a ribeye or a strip, something that has some good texture and marbling.
They have to cook it right, because if I'm getting a fillet, I know that's just going to be pretty much consistent across the board. If I'm going to go and get the other
competent chef on earth can give you a good fillet.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If I'm going to go and guess some kind of like marbleized sirloin or whatever, I want it from a good spot, because otherwise the fat is chewy and it's just not good, So I just try to stay safe so that I'm not disappointed.
Think about it. The most simplest thing, macaroni and cheese. I love macaroni and cheese, or as my daughter Cece calls it, Wookie. Don't know why, but she calls it Wookie.
I get it. Don't do was donut for me when I was a kid.
But I love good Wookie. If you're tuning in right now, that sounds weird. And
sounds like a Sims
But
thing.
I really love good macaroni and cheese. And think about it. How many places do you go get it? And it's like, meh.
Oh, it's boring.
Like step up from Kraft.
Yeah.
No offense, sweetie. I know you're listening and your dad made good Kraft. But it's a step up from Kraft or Shells and Cheese. And I'm like, I want something that's baked, maybe some good gnocchi in it, some nice Vermont cheddar in it.
Yeah, the sharp cheddar.
Good tang when I bite into that.
Chive on
I don't
top.
want government cheese. I want the real stuff.
Yeah, we don't want the Velveeta. No offense.
It requires so much more skill to do those things, and that's like when I got to the Algonquin. They were doing basic hotel food, filet, chicken Oscar.
Yeah.
Pork chop, and I was like, yeah, okay. And on Fridays and Saturdays we have the whole dining room open. Clearly, people aren't responding to this. So I, switched it to what I was kind of well known for in my chef career, which was, more new American, refined Southern, little bit of cuisine meritage type stuff, where there was European influences on it, and that people loved it. Like I remember people were like, they one of my most famous items on my menus as a chef that I did in fine dining, and it was my most famous appetizer. People loved it. Some of the restaurants still have it in the menu decades later. Grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Oh, this is so good. If you have a good one, it's the best. I had one in Florida, and I dream about it still.
We made a tomato sourdough soup. Roasted heirloom tomatoes, sourdough breadcrumbs blended in it.
Yeah.
A little bit of Boursin cheese blended in there. And then the grilled cheese sandwich was a homemade focaccia with like a Vermont cheddar on it, Amish butter.
Oh, wow.
So a little cast iron skillet with these. And
I'm so hungry now.
I would have people, I don't know, right? I wish I had more time.
Don't make me brisket. Make me that. I'll give you a cheesecake.
You've been telling me about that cheesecake.
I will. I promise. Oh, my goodness. You're never in New Jersey, and I'm never in New York, so.
My slow time's coming up. So.
Okay. We'll hang.
Off air,
sure.
You want to hang for real?
Yes, I'm down.
We'll do that, because I could use a good tomato soup and grilled cheese.
All right, I'm down. And cheesecake for dessert.
Yeah, well, it just depends on where you want to go get it. But
We'll figure it out. All right, I have a fast round. This or that.
Fast round.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Buckle up. Yeah.
I remember this.
You listen to my podcast.
Do that to me because I like to ramble.
Real tree or artificial tree?
Real.
I know. I agree, but I got an artificial this year. White lights or colored lights?
Both.
Okay. Early decorating or last minute?
Unfortunately, what I do for a vocation, it always ends up being mid-December now.
Yep. Snowy Christmas or warm weather Christmas?
Snowy.
I
Why
agree.
do you need warm weather?
I know. Boring. Gingerbread or sugar cookies?
For me to eat, sugar cookies all the way.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were going to say. Yeah. Icing or sprinkles?
Icing.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Got one waiting for me in the car.
Oh, smart. I need one. All right. Sweet desserts or savory snacks?
Savory snacks.
Mm-hmm. Peppermint or cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
Morning or night person?
Oh, I'm nocturnal.
Yeah, yeah.
I hit my prime at 4 a.m.
I'm a morning and a night person, so I just don't want to sleep.
Mine at random hours. I have to figure out.
I don't sleep. I hate sleeping.
Random times.
If I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't sleep at all. Honestly, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, it's like I tell people always are amazed because you're on my Insta. Are you actually on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, but not as often.
Yeah,
I post stuff on it, but I just let it go.
That's what I do with my CC
I don't think we're friends on Facebook. We'll have to be we'll be officially friends on Facebook.
Well, I know Facebook's for us older people.
Yeah. I've been on it.
As a secret, Facebook owns Instagram, so
Yeah, I know. Well, I post on Instagram, and it goes through to Facebook. That's why I'm never on Facebook.
That's where all my CC stuff is.
Okay,
if you're on Insta, all you're seeing is Gingerbread Lane.
Okay.
My personal Insta has 2 posts in 12 years. It's boring. And but yeah, I do all this stuff with CC constantly.
Mm-hmm.
We've already done multiple Rockefeller Center tree trips this year. We went to 34th Street Santa. While I'm doing this, bounding all over the country doing this.
Those are the best memories that I have with my dad is going to the city, look at the tree, ice skating.
Some of this stuff before
Yeah.
And my daughter's
Love
7.
doing that.
So a lot of these memories are becoming core memories.
Yes, absolutely.
Stay with her. And
she's only child, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Daddy's girl.
People are like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I'm like, because I know how to parent, and it's not that hard. Mm-hmm. She's priority. I'm not. Mm-hmm. And I see so many parents, that's not the way they are. They have nannies. They have hired help. They see their kids for a couple hours a night. And they really don't put their kids first. And I'm like, we need careers. We absolutely. It's very hard this time of the year. But even during this time of the year, I've been a part of 8 Santa Claus visits so far. I just took her to special McDonald's last night.
Nice.
The play place.
Yeah. You called me.
And I've mixed in 2 trips to the mall for that play area, all while I'm in hell.
Yeah.
Gingergatory, as I call it, right now. And people are like, how do you do that? Well, number one. She's priority.
Yeah.
And the second thing, I tell people, we can all be tired and whatnot, but I'm like, you can catch up on sleep when you die.
Yeah, sleep when you're dead.
Even put a pillow under your head at the end.
Yep. You sleep forever.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, I'll catch up on it then.
Yeah. No, my dad's the same way. He used to truck cross country and do all that, have crazy hours, overnights, this and that.
He was a big influence on you.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about him a lot.
I know. And I love my mom too. Everyone's like, what about your mom? She's the reason. She's my quirky side.
Right.
That's
she's the reason for this.
Yeah. But my dad definitely he was always taking me places and doing things. So was my mom, but you know what I mean. I'm a daddy's girl. It's different. It's a different dynamic. And I'm an only child.
Wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
I think I might have told you that. I didn't want a boy.
Yeah.
The corner of this table, if a boy walks into it, he'll walk into it 30 times and hit his head and cry every time. The girl will hit it once, she'll cry, and she will learn immediately. When you're a boy, when you're young, particularly closer to your teenage years, they will tell you girls mature faster than boys.
Yeah.
And you will argue it. Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay, I'm a grown man. I'm middle-aged here. I will put this out there. Yes, you mature very slowly.
It's all right.
So I wanted a girl so bad, and I think it's amazing. I'll have my work cut out for me in 7, 8 years to steer her away from anything that resembles me.
Goodness.
But I mean, she's
buckle up. No, but it's a good dynamic that you have.
It is. She's so sweet, and I love her so much. And it's one of the. I feel guilty when I figure out each spring or summer that Gingerbread Lane's going to go one more year.
Yeah.
I feel guilty because the very first thought that comes into my mind is my girls. I immediately think of my wife and daughter, and I'm like, cool, I can continue to be home for them. And I should be thinking I get to make thousands of people happy. That should be my top priority. And ultimately it is. But the very first thing that comes to mind is I get to spend another year being there for my wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And speaking of which, you were so kind to come to this podcast in New Jersey when you have a long trek and you have to go and pick her up.
I do.
So you have to.
Where are we at on time? I have no idea.
Oh, we're wrapping up.
Okay. You're scaring me.
No, you got to go right now. No, you have plenty of time.
Yeah, we're good. We got 20 minutes.
But I wanted to say thank you and
course.
close up. And thanks for bringing the house. It smells like gingerbread in here.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we'll have.
Sorry for getting your studio dirty.
Yeah.
Your elevator tried to kill it. But
it's okay. It's all good. But we'll bring a vacuum in next time.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll do something again. This is great. I'm happy we stayed in touch. You're a sweetheart. It's fun to watch your adventures.
Likewise.
I am. I'm looking forward to watching some that I know are coming sooner than later.
We'll see.
You're 3 years in.
Yeah.
You're getting hardware. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. And what a lucky guy he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean that from the heart. You know, you're easy on the eyes. You're very successful. Thanks. You have a tremendous amount of passion. You definitely care so much about people.
Behind closed doors.
What a lucky guy. I hope he knows that. I hope he's listening.
You better be listening to my podcast.
You know, because
number one listener.
One of the benefits of being old like me is, you know, apparently you have wisdom.
Yeah,
it's coming. I guess I don't know, but you know, with I'm offering him the benefit of that wisdom and all the things I've seen. You know.
Yeah.
You got somebody special here, bro. So.
Oh, thank you.
Make it happen.
Yeah, right. Get on it. All right. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll be in touch. And we're gonna get you on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's
I was actually gonna talk to you about that again, but you brought it up, so later tonight or this week or this month or whatever.
Make it happen. Then we'll do a follow up.
You know, I bet you know somebody. You don't know them directly.
I'll find somebody.
You know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah. Thanks for spending this time with me. Seriously, it means the world. If today made you smile, think, or feel a little more connected, go ahead and follow the show, share it with someone who needs it, and don't be a stranger. Come hang out on Instagram with me at Dana M. Schaefer. Until next time.
This production was recorded at Ignite Creator Studios, digital media and content strategy. Visit ignitecreatorstudios.com.